There we go. This is what we did earlier, and it's coming from opnsense. So this is what this label is about. Let's send all the Suricata events to our Elastic SIEM so we can create alerts. And in this case, our traffic, most of our traffic is in the US. So as you can see, we can actually see our traffic is in North America and some in Europe. But this is what we have. It's going to Europe because I'm attacking Hack the Box. And I think Hack the Box is located there. So that's what we had here. Hello and welcome to IT Security Labs. And today we are going to forward Suricata intrusion detection system logs from our opnsense all the way to our Elastic SIEM. This is the fourth video in a series where we're setting up our own SOC in a box while we are learning the basics of cybersecurity by setting up our own Elastic SIEM. So in this case, this is what we did last time. We have an opnsense firewall, which is sending all the firewall logs to here. Now we need to make sure that we enable our intrusion detection system right here in our firewall, then forward those logs to our Elastic SIEM so that we can see Suricata events and what's being blocked and all the alerts in here. To begin, let's start by going to our instructions here. Our instructions, if you go to the docs for Kali Purple, we are now on protect and we installed our firewall. This is our last time. Now we go to the bits. This is how we will be sending the logs to our Elastic SIEM from our firewall, which is acting as an intrusion detection system in this case. So first, they say on Kali Purple, sudo su, and then cd to Elasticsearch. We need to do this on Kali Purple. So I'm signing into my Kali Purple. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, sudo su. If you're not already root, I'm already root here, but I'm showing you the command that I would run. Then they said to type the cd command. Okay. So in here, we have sets. And the file that we need to move is one of these, http.cs.crt. So that's the one that we need to move using SCP. We're going to be using SCP to come from here in our Kali Purple and move that file all the way to our firewall in the etc pki root. So I'll copy this command here. So the file that we're moving is this one. We're using SCP to move that file to our firewall. And I did not set up my DHCP here, so I'm going to say the IP address instead, 172.16.0.1. That's my opnsense IP address. Let's see if I remember my password. All right, so of course, as you can see here, our SCP is timing out. I cannot SSH, I cannot copy, it keeps timing out. So what we need to do is we need to allow SSH on opnsense. And I did a simple Google search here. I said, hey, how do I enable SSH, which SCP will use? And I got some instructions. We need to go to System, Settings, Administration, Secure Shell, Enable. Then check to see if it's permitted for root user. So we'll go to the same place, System, Settings, Administration. Go back to our firewall, System, Settings, Administration. All right, HTTP and HTTPS is enabled, but we do not have SSH enabled. So we need to check this box. Enable secure shell. Root login, yes. Enable password login, yes, on port 22. That's what we need. So we need to say save. Let's hit save one more time. Okay, so once the change is applied successfully, let's do it one more time with our SCP command. And as you can see, we can go. So now say yes. Do I remember my root password? All right, so our command fails here because it says no such directory. So the PKI directory doesn't exist. So we will go and make it. Let's go ahead and sign into our firewall, SSH root at the IP address of our firewall. It will ask us there, let's just say the password. When we get in here, we need to say we need a shell. So choose option 8. Let's make it. Okay, so it looks like PKI doesn't even exist. So we'll make PKI first, then let's make the root. Now we see the /etc pki root. It's now there. Okay. Now that we are in our opnsense, let's go and see if our SCP would work now. Okay, there we go. Give it the password. Bam, so it worked. Going back to our firewall, let's check. There it is. We might have some permissions issues here if we're not careful. But here's the permissions. So we went through this hurdle where the file didn't exist. Great. Now install Firebit on our firewall. So on our firewall, let's find out. I'm already SSH'd into it. It says root at opnsense here. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's updating. All right, so it looks like we are done here. This is like an apt update and getting some packages. So we need to go to this location for bits 8 and install it. Make install. So this is on our firewall and it's installing bits, including Firebit. All right, so here it's like, hey, which bits do you want? It highlighted only Firebit. So let's do that. There we go. So we need that one. I think, is it space? Yeah, space will remove that, and space will remove that. We don't need metric bit or packet bit. We can install them, but right now we only want Firebit. Tab should now say okay. And there we go. Firebit is being installed. Okay, so we have another one here, another instruction that's saying, hey, what about that? Let's see. We don't have to choose it. Let's just choose the default here. Say okay. This part is here is taking forever, so just let it run in the background. And once it's done, we can go and configure Firebit. All right, so after what looked like forever, we got done with this part here. So it looks like we are right here. Next, we need to go and configure Firebit. So let's configure that. VI or nano. We need to fix this terminal. So VI is not working. Let's quit and exit. Try Vim. This, I think I now need to enable serial connection or something because VI is not working. Right, using Google, we found out we are not the only ones. So we need pkg install nano. Forget that. Let's install nano. We can use install Vim, but hey, let's go straight nano. So now, instead of VI, let's use nano. Nano that. Boom. All right, now let's go and change our file. Elasticsearch out. We're going to the output. We wanted to send everything to Elasticsearch. So here we'll put our IP address of our curly paper. 172.16.0.15. So you need to put your own IP address there if that's what you're working on. Okay, let's go back here. So the host, the protocol, either HTTP default or HTTPS. Here they put HTTPS because we put a certificate on our curly. So protocol HTTPS, and then the SSL it needs to be here. That's why we moved the certificate. Okay, so our protocol is HTTPS. Let's uncomment that. Then here we need to put our username of Elastic and our password. So you need to put your password right here. I'm going to put mine for my Elastic SIEM, but you need to put yours right here. Let's see, what else do we need to do here? Okay, we need to go to setup.kibana and change the host to the IP address of curly paper and SSL verification to none. Okay, so to go to Kibana, we need to scroll up a little bit. Here's the Kibana section. So for my Kibana host, I need to put the IP address of my curly paper because that's the one running Kibana. 172.16.0.15. Okay, then SSL verification mode needs to be none. We don't have that line here, so we add it right here. So this is setup.kibana. All right, so we have host, setup.kibana host SSO verification to none. Let's go ahead and save this file. All right, next, after saving that file, we need to copy these to copy all the configuration files. So these 3 commands here. Then we'll do a FileBit modules list after. For now, we're going to copy some FileBit configurations. All right, if I do an ls, here are the FileBit configuration files, including modules D. So now let's do FileBit modules list. Let's see which modules are enabled. All right, so enabled, nothing. Disabled is Suricata and System. So we need to enable those for Suricata. And to do that, we run FileBit modules enable Suricata Nginx and System. So we need to enable all those. Let's see if it works. So we enabled Suricata Nginx doesn't exist. That's fine. Let's list now. We should see under enabled Suricata showing up. Perfect. So we have what we need. All right. So next, it says we need to open the Suricata YAML in modules D, and we need to check, make sure that if is enabled as well. And there we go. Okay. So all logs if enabled false. Okay. So let's change this false to true. Okay. Actually, we need to use nano in order for us to edit. True. Let's save that and enter. Okay, so just verify. There we go. Okay, so next we need to test the FileBit setup. Make sure that it's working correctly. Go here. Let's see. All right. Certificate chain is enabled. Okay. So we need to go back to our certificate chain and fix our certificate. Okay. So I think there was this one. Let's go and check right at the top here. Okay, this was under output.elastic. We need to go and add this one where our certificate is. I forgot to do that. So let's go back. All right, so here's output.elastic. I'm going to paste that line right here. All right, SSO certificate authority is going to be in that location. Save. Yes, and enter. Now let's rerun this one. No, this one. And see if we get any errors this time. And we fixed it. So we get a bunch of OKs for everything. Let's run the other one. This one should also say OK. If you don't see OK in any of these, we need to fix it. All right, so as you can see, the first one is a bunch of OKs. The last one is an OK. So we are good. We have a valid set, and we were able to set it up. So now we need to say FileBit setup -E, and then we can enable FileBit. There we go. I see some data. Okay, so we see another error here. It failed to go to this location. HTTP, oh, it should be HTTPS, shouldn't it? It should be HTTPS. We need to go and fix that. All right, so that fails. Let's make this into an HTTPS. So let's paste it here. HTTPS, because it's secure. All right, so it should be HTTPS. Let's go fix it. So it's in this file here, FileBit bits. We should go to the Kibana section. The host address is that. Yeah, for Kibana host is HTTPS. I don't know what I was thinking. So we just need to fix this. All right, save that. Yes, enter. Now let's try the setup one more time and see if we get any errors. All right, so as you can see, that error went away. So that means that things are working for us here. So let's go back and run these two to enable FileBit and start FileBit. All right, so now that FileBit is running, let's go to our firewall and enable Suricata. Is it under services, intrusion detection? administration, enable syslog alerts. So here's some rules. Let's just, we need to enable all these. User defined, some alerts. Right now, let's cancel that. So we enabled our intrusion detection system here. Enable syslog alerts. So here's a bunch that I enabled. Then alerts. Here are some alerts from a while ago, like Kali Linux. So this should be sent to our Elastic SIEM. We went to hack the box and we said, hey, let's start this machine here, 10.10.11.198. I'm already monitoring that using my opnsense, which I'll show you in the next video. But right now, we just want to test, is Suricata working? And if Suricata is working, what we should find is in the system, under services, intrusion detection system, administration. If we go to the logs section here or alerts, we should start seeing our alerts showing up here. So if I go to alerts, we should see 172.16.0.10, which is our Kali, causing a lot of problems for opnsense. So let's do that right now. Run that nmap scan if we can. SVSC, capital C. Okay, so we are scanning a host. This traffic is living through my firewall, and if the firewall can see it, we should start getting some alerts in here. Those alerts from here should make it to here as well. So let me refresh here for a second. Right now we see 5 hits. This number should increase if everything is working. And by the way, my time range here is at 30 minutes, which is fine. All right, I haven't seen anything yet. Nothing yet. Okay, let's refresh this. All right, look at this. This is all possible ET scan nmap user agent because I just scanned using my Kali right here, which just finished. So these possible ET scans here that see that it's nmap, they come from source IP address of my Kali to, in this case, make the box 10.10.11.198. Let's see if this made it here. Let's refresh that. Yes, it did. Notice this big bump here. Soon after refreshing, we got this little bump here. That's possible ET scan. So let's open the new one. All right. As you can see, this is coming from our opnsense firewall. It should be coming from Suricata eve.json. Here's the original value. Possible ET scan nmap user agent observed. So we know we are sending Suricata events here. We can go and view even more information about that event. This is the location of the file. It's a web attack that was seen. Nmap user agent, that's the rule that fired. And the source IP address is the source IP address of our Kali. So this shows me that we have successfully sent all the logs from our opnsense to Elastic SIEM. So let's see if we can find some dashboards here. Okay, if we nano that file, let's look where it's talking about Kibana. These settings control the loading of sample dashboards to the Kibana index. Loading the dashboards is disabled by default and can be enabled either by setting the options here or using setup command. Set up the dashboards to true. Let me set that to true. I think we have everything here. Now let's run the setup command again. Firebit setup. And see if we run into any errors. Okay, so after we finish the enabling Firebit there, we now get some default Firebit data here. So Firebit new user, alerts, all that stuff. Let's search for Suricata. No, it should be Suricata. Firebit Suricata. As you can see, it's still populating. I see. So Firebit Suricata. Let's see if we find it this time. Okay, so it's still setting up. And while it's doing that, let me show you something. You really need to go to your firebit.yaml file and go all the way down here where it says Kibana, dashboards, and set up dashboards enabled to make sure that this is uncommented and set to true. Otherwise, the default dashboards will not show up in your Elastic SIEM. So you really need to make sure that setting is set. Then come back here. There we go. So it does take a while, but we see Firebit Suricata alert and Firebit events overview. Let's just look at maybe, why not both? Let's look at both. Firebit alert overview. We should see our alerts here if everything worked. If it didn't work, nothing will show up here. So this is a moment of truth for all the hard work that we did. Firebit alerts, come on, it's thinking about it. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Our Suricata events are making it to our alerts. So as you can see, our nmap scan that we did earlier is showing up here. We had 18 web activity. Let me move myself out of the... There we go. This is what we did earlier, and it's coming from opnsense. So this is what this label is about. Let's send all the Suricata events to our Elastic SIEM so we can create alerts. And in this case, we do have a few. And if we drill down on these, for example, we can just scroll down here. Oh, we do have a map too. I don't know what the map isn't showing. Oh, wait a second. Our traffic, most of our traffic is in the US. So as you can see, we can actually see our traffic is in North America and some in Europe. But this is what we have. It's going to Europe because I'm attacking Hack the Box. And I think Hack the Box is located there. So that's what we had here. And here, this is my Kali Linux 172.16.0.10 going to Hack the Box 10.10.11.198. And we have our logs here. In the future, we'll use these logs more. But for now, I just wanted to show you how to set it up. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot to be able to make these videos with you liking them. But before we go, let's check the last one. Here we go. Event count. Suricata 6 events. And there they are as well. So that's what we have. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you next.